Hey, HadesOmega here, and this is the after-action review for the Mission Mini Cup Qualifier at Sonoma Raceway, or more specifically, the Sonoma Karting Center. Right? I think they changed the name. It's not Sim Raceway anymore. It's Sonoma Raceway Karting Center is what it's called now. Okay, but that's what they used to call it. All right. It's been many moons. All right. It's been a couple years. All right, since we've had a race at Sonoma, okay, a supermoto race, all right. So this is a after-action review. It's what was supposed to happen, what really happened, and things that we could do to improve in the future. Okay. So this is it's a MotoAmerica Mini Cup qualifier round. Okay, what it is. So if you I guess if you do good here, all right. If you podium or you get a certain amount of points in a race, that's a MotoAmerica sanctioned race, all right, in the qualifier. You can race in the MotoAmerica Mini Cup race that's going to be somewhere else, okay, guys? So you would attend one of these qualifier races. I believe they had one at Apex in Southern California. California has like two qualifier rounds, all right, one in NorCal and one in SoCal, okay, guys? And if you do good here, then you get to go race in the Nationals, okay? Pretty simple, right? so the best people in this race in the Nationals, all right? But HadesOmega didn't race in the MotoAmerica Mini Cup qualifier. I raced in an exhibition race, all right? So it's just another race, all right, but you can still win a trophy and stuff, but it's pretty much just for fun because they don't have supermotos for Mini Cup qualifier, okay, guys. And it was an event put on by Hawk Mazada and Tyler O'Hara, all right. They're promoting it big time, all right, and I was helping them to promote it, okay, as much as I could, all right. This race was actually scheduled for March. But it rained, and so they decided to postpone the race, right? So they canceled that race, and they moved the race all the way up to July, right? It's been like 3 months since the last one was canceled, right? So, and I was afraid it was going to be too hot, and the weather was great, okay, guys? So some spoilers, all right? The weather was great the whole weekend, all right? So it took place on July 19th and 20th. July 19th was the practice day, and the 20th was the race day. Okay, all the races would be on that day. And Northern Nevada Kart Club, all right, the folks that run the Reno, the Desert Park Raceway track, were the ones in charge of running the event. Okay, guys, or at least administrating the races. Okay, guys. And yes, it is a AMA MotoAmerica sanctioned race too. Okay, they had like the referees and everything. It was a big event, guys, and they had two. I think they had two pro races. All right, races that like you could win money. Okay, guys. There's a Supermoto Pro race, and then there's the GP World Cup race. Okay, and if you podiumed, all right, or you got close to the podium, you can take home some money, okay, guys? So there's that. But HadesOmega just raced in two of the exhibition class races, all right? The plan, so here we go. This is what's supposed to happen. HadesOmega was going to race in Super Mini and Supermoto Amateur, all right? Super Mini, all right, on the Soron Lightbee, and Ultra Redshift 39 is going to go race in the Supermoto Amateur, okay, guys? HadesOmega was definitely not fast enough to hang with those pros. Okay, that's what I'll say, all right? Especially the Redshift, man. Okay, but yeah, so Saturday was the practice. Okay, so here's the plan. The plan started 2 weeks before, okay? The last practice, so Sonoma Raceway, or Sonoma Karting Center, has practices like pretty much every Monday, all right? Except in July, all right? So the last day of June, I said, hey, you know what? I think I'm gonna go to the track and practice, all right? Because I haven't been there for a minute, all right? HadesOmega doesn't do practices. I just go. The racing is my practice, okay, guys. HadesOmega races so much that I feel like I don't need to practice, okay? So, and I want to save money, all right? But this time, I decided to go out and practice, all right? And I'm kind of glad I did. It was fun, all right? It's been a while since HadesOmega has raced there with the Light Bee after I did a lot of modifications on the Light Bee, all right? I think the last race that we did there, I used the BAC 4000, okay, guys? That was the last race. It was one of the last races. I think that one and the Reading race. That's when I noticed the controller is going downhill, all right? Like I blew it up, all right? And then so that's when I had to get the KO controller, okay, guys? So I got the KO controller and the motor. And then I got rid of the KO controller and I replaced it with the eBMX controller, right? So that's what we got on the bike at eBMX. And then we've got a better battery now, a Qi battery, all right? So definitely the Light Bee is not the same bike it was back then. So HadesOmega wanted to see how good we're going to do, all right, with our faster Light Bee, all right? And then yes, I have the Redshift, right? So I've owned this Redshift for about almost 3 years now, and yeah, I never got a chance to ride it at Sonoma Raceway. So the interesting thing to note, the first time I ever saw a Supermoto Redshift was at Sonoma Raceway. All right, back then there was a Supermoto USA race, and they were racing Redshifts when Alta Motors was still in business. Okay, they were. That's where they did. Actually, that's where this bike was born from, all right? I'm not gonna lie, guys. A lot of the testing they did for a Supermoto bike, all right, the Redshift SM, was on that track, all right? So this bike was actually born to race on that track, actually. I just realized that, okay? Because San Francisco is not far from Sonoma, okay, guys? It's about maybe like half hour or 45 minutes from the city, all right, guys? So yeah, so I went and did the practice. I got some practice. I was hoping like the configuration would be similar, right, guys? And it was, okay? So in the for the practice that HadesOmega did, they put in the tic-tac-toe, all right? It's kind of a bunch of like a series of turns like chicanes and like S-turns and stuff. And they took that out, all right? They made it more simple. Instead of having like 3 different turns, it just made it into one kind of long turn, okay? It was kind of like it was a faster configuration, okay, guys? So in that, so I watched the videos. So HadesOmega's been using this telemetry overlay software, and you can, if you use a GoPro and use the GPS data from the GoPro, you can get your lap times from the video, all right? It knows what the software knows when you pass by the start-finish line to stop and start the timer, all right? So every time you pass that, so it's basically like a lap timer, and you're using your GoPro as a lap timer, right? The problem is you can't just look at your times on the GoPro with the GoPro. You got to actually take it home and plug it into the software and stuff. But HadesOmega doesn't have to watch the video with the freaking stopwatch and record the time every time anymore. I don't have to do that anymore. I can just have the software do it for me. So that's all freaking awesome. So from that, I learned that the Redshift is doing 101s on this configuration, and the Light Bee is doing like 106 or 107 on the on that configuration. Okay, so man, that's a big difference. This track requires a lot of power, right? There's a lot. You're going to use a lot of speed in this track, and the Redshift it's just faster, all right? It's bigger, it's faster, it's got more, it's got a bigger battery. It's a monster machine, all right? So the Redshift was a blast to ride there, okay, guys? All right, so that was the practice. I'm not going to go too much into it. If you want to see those practice videos, I have them up on my channel, so check them out, all right? Yeah, that was the last practice for June, and then they didn't have any more practices in July. For whatever reason, they don't practice in July. Right? So is it too hot or something? I don't know, man. There's a couple events going on in July, and this is one of them, all right, guys? So yeah, HadesOmega was going to race the Light Bee and the Redshift, okay? The Light Bee is going to be in the Super Mini race, and the Redshift is going to be Supermoto Amateur, all right? So, and yeah, so that was it, all right? And then so I loaded the bikes up, and I head to the track. So the good thing is, Sonoma Raceway is not far from where I live. HadesOmega actually races there every month. I do drag racing there, okay, guys? But it's been a long time since I got into the karting center, all right? So I decided to leave like in the afternoon, like around 1, and try to get there like around the time when they start practice. I don't think I got there until like 4 or so. And man, so yeah, HadesOmega wasn't gonna do the practice on the Saturday, on the 19th. I didn't do the practice. I didn't sign up for it. I think it was the same price. I think it says it here somewhere. On this sheet, all right. So Tyler O'Hara gave me this to give to people, all right. But I posted it on the internet, anyways. I think it was $65 for practice, and it was it's similar to how much you would pay on a regular track day. Okay, for a half-day track day is $60. Okay, except you have to share with the carts. Okay, so you're kind of getting, I don't know, it's probably the same. All right, what can I say? All right, $65. It's just only $5 more. But HadesOmega didn't want to go to practice the day before the race, so I don't tire myself out for the next day of racing. All right, it's rough on HadesOmega's old bones to do that. All right, yeah. Okay, yeah. So I get there. It's around 4 o'clock. There was a lot of traffic in San Francisco. It was Saturday, guys. Okay, and so what happened? I couldn't find a place to pit. That's for one thing. All right, there were so many people there. The parking lot, the pit area was full, and then Hakmazada had a new racer school, and they had a little practice course laid out in the parking lot. So he used up like a quarter of the pit area. All right, was made into like a little training area. So we didn't have a whole lot of places to pit, but that was my plan. It was to go there and get the pit set up the day before, and then just chill out and hang out, watch people practice and all that stuff. And then, yeah, so pretty much went as planned. I found a pit spot, all right? I don't know if it's not really in the pits, but it's close, all right, guys? There's a little classroom building, and there's a Connex box, and there's a gap big enough for me to fit like a car with a trailer, all right? And so that's what I had. I had a car with the trailer, and I found out that building had power on the side of the building. Like there was a 120 volt outlet. I was like, oh shit, I'll take it. so I used that as my pit area. Okay, guys, and it worked out pretty damn well. All right, it wasn't in the driveway or anything. It was just a little bit off. I had just barely enough room to put the bikes out there, and so that's what I used as my pit area, so I could use that 120 volt outlet. I didn't know the race format until I went there, okay? Because they never posted it, okay? And then KC's running the thing, and so I asked Jake, the race coordinator dude, that well, hey, so what's the race format that we're using, all right? So they said you're going to get a practice, then you're going to get a qualifying round, and then there's going to be lunch, and then there's going to be race 1 and race 2, okay? So it's kind of like, yeah, I think it's kind of like a MotoAmerica race, all right? That's how they do the MotoAmerica races. They have 2 separate races, all right? Like I think they have race 1 on one day and race 2 on the other day, but in this case, it's going to be race 1, and you take like a break until all the other races are done, and then you do the second set of races, okay, guys? And I think you get the equal amount of points for each race, all right? I think, I'm not 100%. You might get points for your qualification too. I'm not 100% on that, all right? But the qualification, all right, and if you guys don't know what qualifying is, it's when you do a time trial, all right? You go around the track, they get your times, they pick your fastest time, and then they put it on a kind of a leaderboard type of thing, all right? And the fastest riders, that's your pit. That's your grid position, all right, guys? It's called your grid position, all right? So, and then so, like, if you were the 3rd fastest, you would grid on the number 3 spot, all right? So it's more favorable to have a lower number, okay, guys? Because you'll be closer to the front, and you won't have to fight your way from the back to the front as much, okay? That's what I say, all right? Things happen, what can I say? It's actually very important, all right, guys? It's part of what's happening. It's kind of part of what's supposed to happen and what's what's going to happen. So the qualifying is very important because it's your grid position for race 1 and 2, all right? So your qualification times will put you in that position every time. So normally, I think in Supermoto, they usually do it what's called a heat race and a main race. And the heat race, the position you get in the heat race is your grid position in the main race, right? But they don't do that. You use the same grid position according to your qualification time for race 1 and race 2. Okay, it's I guess it's a MotoAmerica thing also. Okay, but that's the way that's the way some places do it, is what I want to say. That's fine for me, right? But so you're getting 2 main races, all right? So instead of having like a sprint race and then a full race, you get 2 big races, all right? So but it's kind of, if you ask me, you kind of get more for your money if you do it this way, all right? So, and then so it kind of works as a mini championship is what it is, okay, guys? The points you get in the first race and the points you get in the second race, you add them together, all right? And that's your score. And then whoever has the most points wins, okay, guys? So if you do bad on the first race and then you do good in the second race, it'll, you can bump your position up, right? Or if you just kill it in the first race and the second race, you're just stomping on everybody, then yeah, you'll definitely be on the podium, okay? So that type of thing. It's like a mini championship is what HadesOmega calls it. Okay, so that's the race format, and so that kind of works out for me. All right, so here's what HadesOmega's plan is. All right, so this is what's supposed to happen. All right, and so the plan is to go out and practice. All right, just do a couple laps. All right, I actually so the plan was another thing I didn't like is that I had back-to-back races. All right, so the Super Mini race was before the Supermoto Amateur race. So that's a back-to-back, all right? So once I get off the track, I have to go and grab the other bike, all right? It's a big pain in the butt. And another thing I didn't realize, all right, so here's the what really happened thing, is they had a cold pit, all right, is what they call it. So the pit area, where all the bikes are parked before they go to the racetrack, right, where everybody works on their bikes and their bikes are parked, you can't ride your bike in the pits at all. All right, dead bike. That's why it's called a cold pit. All right, guys. No running bikes. All right. I know if they probably wouldn't know if my bike's running, because it don't make any noise. But you're supposed to push your bike, all right, to the staging area. All right. So there's a staging area, and then there's a hot pit. All right, guys. And that's where you can turn your bike on. The staging area, you can turn your bike on, and then when they say you can go, you ride out, all right? You don't have to push your bike anymore. But so when you get off the track, when you get to the pit area, you got to get off your bike and then push your bike again. So that adds a lot of time, all right? It adds to like a lead time, all right? Between the time I have to put the bike back and then grab the other bike, then I have to push the other bike to the staging area. It's kind of a pain in the butt, guys. All right, no big boy rules here. Right? I guess they do it for safety. Okay, guys. They don't want people getting run over. There's a lot of kids and thing all around. I guess bicycles and like pit bikes and scooters were okay to ride. All right, I guess. All right. Just really small vehicles, all right? Nothing crazy, all right? That's a scoop on the pits and the race format, and so the plan is, all right? HadesOmega's plan was to, so you already know about, it's back to back, and HadesOmega's got to push the bike, and I'm gonna be tired. I'm gonna be extra tired because I have to push the bike, especially this beast, man. All right, this one's no fun to push. I'll tell you that. So you do the practice, all right? So HadesOmega's plan, all right, or the hamster wheel's already going in HadesOmega's head. I have multiple batteries for the Light B, so I said, hey, just do the whole practice, all right? Do the whole practice with the Light B, use up that practice battery, and then I won't use that battery the rest of the day. So the plan HadesOmega formulated, all right? This is the Light B we're talking about here, all right? So the Light B has 3 batteries, all right? I brought 3 batteries, but I only really planned to use 2, all right? This is how I planned it. the practice, kerplam, all right, I use this battery, all right, guys. This is the Lightspeed Bikes 18650 pack, all right, 18650 30 amp hour pack, all right. It's running Sony VTC6 cells, very good cells. They're actually the same cells that they use in the Redshift's R pack, all right, but this doesn't have the R pack, okay. So this gotta tell you these are good cells. But anyway. It's kind of an old battery, and it's not up to spec with the Qi battery, right, guys? So the HadesOmega wants to go do the fastest stuff with the Qi battery, all right, guys? Because the Qi battery is our race battery, right? It's a badass battery. I don't think I've ever overheated it yet. Okay, I come close though. So HadesOmega is going to go out and practice the whole practice session, all right, with this battery, all right, and then for the qualifying. We're going to go out with this battery, all right, the Qi battery, so we can get our fastest time. Because remember what I said, your qualifying time makes a big deal, all right? You don't want to start in the back all the time. You want to start as far forward as possible. So I tried to get my best time with the fastest battery, okay? And then there's going to be a lunch. HadesOmega is going to plug the battery in and get it back up to like 90%, okay? HadesOmega doesn't like starting a race at full charge because I like to use the regen right away, okay? It's not good to start on a full charge, all right? So I usually start around 90% or 83 volts, all right? So by the time you're done with the warm-up and then maybe the first lap, you can just hammer that freaking regen, okay? So that's a scoop, guys. After the qualifying, we would plug it back in, get it back up to 90%, and then do race 1, and then if it's and we'll try to get it to maybe like 80 volts or something, all right? That's about like 80%. Okay, I'm trying to keep the charge up, you know, past 50%. All right, the Redshift is a different story, all right, guys? The Redshift only has one battery. I can't swap the battery, all right, guys? That's the Redshift's biggest weakness, okay, guys? We can't swap the batteries easily. And this thing is like a heat magnet, all right? It doesn't like getting hot, all right? My plan was for the practice, just do like 2 or 3 laps, all right? I did 3 laps, I pulled off, and then qualifying, go all out. Yeah, I would do 2-3 laps, throw it back on the charger, all right? So here's how the pit charging situation went in the pits, all right, guys? So I've got a lot of freaking power, okay? I've got a lot of power, and I need a lot of power, all right? To charge the bike and to run the warmers is a lot of power, okay, guys? It's a lot of power, okay? This eats up like 1,000 watts when it's charging. This eats up like 1,200 watts when it's charging, all right? And then I think the tire warmers eat up like 800 watts for a pair, all right? And I have 2 pairs. I got 2 sets of warmers for both of these bikes, all right, guys? And so that's probably like, that's another like 1,500, 1,600 watts. That's a lot of power, all right, guys? So the plan was, all right, this is how I set my pit up. The plan was to use the generator only to charge the Redshift. The generator only charges the bikes, all right? That's the way I had it set up, all right? And then and then the power from the building, all right, the power from the outlet that's on the side of the building, I used to run the tire warmers, all right? So now I can charge the bikes and I can run the warmers without, you know, running out of power or tripping a breaker or something. Okay, guys? And the building has like plenty of power. It can probably handle like 2,000 watts or something. The plan was to go practice 3 laps, throw it back on the charger, try to keep the charge up throughout the day as much as possible. And then yes, also I had a fan. I have a blower fan that eats up a lot of power too. Okay, so run the blower fan, cool the battery. Okay. We don't need to cool the motor on the Redshift because the motor is water cooled, all right? The motor never overheats on the Redshift, but the battery does all the time, all right? So we want to keep this battery cool as a cucumber, all right, guys? On the Lightbee, it's different, all right? The Lightbee, this battery is pretty good, the controller is pretty good, but the motor overheats, okay, guys? So we need to cool the motor. So I have a separate fan for that. I use my DeWalt fan, the wireless one, the cordless one. It doesn't eat up power from the thing, all right? And it's not as good as the blower fan, but, you know, it's something, all right? And it was pretty windy. So, yeah, here's the weather, what the weather was like. for the day was like, it was cool in the morning. I'd say it was like 60s, 70s in the morning, and then in the afternoon it got up to the 80s, all right? 80, maybe nothing, no more than 85. It wasn't hot at all, and there was a good breeze, okay? So it's kind of deceptive, though. The breeze is kind of deceptive because like it'll be warm, but it won't feel warm because the wind blows on you, okay? So, but that's good. HadesOmega's wearing leathers, okay, guys? HadesOmega decided to wear leathers for this race, okay? All right, so that's the charging situation. That's the cooling situation, all right? After the qualifying, we put it back on the charger, all right? And I would just throw the I would take the tire warmers off, all right? And then and just charge this battery, keep this topped up, right? Keep all the batteries topped up, right? Well, like I mentioned, I have that luxury, but there was another plug. There's another plug that's around the building. I could probably carry the battery or ride the bike over there and charge it. All right, I could have probably done that, but I didn't. Okay, guys. That's where everybody uses the power for their warmers on the track days. Okay, so nobody was using it though. So that's a scoop. So HadesOmega had plenty of power. That was the nice thing because I didn't even know. Even during the track day, I didn't know that there was power on that building. That there was an outlet on there. I was like, oh shit, that's nice. So that's why I said I'm definitely parking here. And plus they had a bathroom in that building too, so that was nice also. After race 1, HadesOmega actually, I didn't know how long the time is, right, between the first race and the second race. So I said like after the first race, don't plug it back in, all right? Because if you keep on charging the battery, it heats the battery up, okay, guys? So we kind of want to keep charging to the minimum, but also we want to keep the charge up. Yeah, it's a tough game, guys, all right? Especially when you have one battery, right? This one, like, if one of the batteries is too hot, I just swap it, okay? But I need to get 2 of these cheap batteries, man. I'm telling you, it's a pain in the butt trying to find another one, man. One that works is what I'm gonna say. Yeah, so that's the scoop with the charging and the pit situation and all that stuff. Okay, so here's what happens. Okay, so we wake up early. All right, guys. The riders' meeting is at 8. I think I woke up around 6:30ish, and yeah, I didn't really get all that much sleep. But yeah, it was cold at night. It was in the 50s, guys. That's pretty cold for this time of year, is what I want to say. But yeah, it was nice, is what I want to say. And then so I woke up, I ate some breakfast, and then I have everything is on the stands, and I got the warmers all already on there. I plan to turn the warmers on right around when the riders' meeting starts. Right, right before the riders' meeting starts, I turn the warmers on. All right, it's hooked up to the building. Remember, all the batteries are charged already, so I don't have to worry about anything. And then yeah, I checked the tire pressures the night before also. I think I'm running like 24 on the light B. All right, I'm running 24 on the light B, and then I probably run a little less on the light B. And then the Redshift, I think I'm running like a 26 and 24 or something like that. Okay, not really high tire pressures, because we need to get some heat in that tire. All right, guys. And it seemed okay. That's what I'm saying. All right. Anyway, so yeah, the warmers are on there, but it's cold. All right, guys. It was cloudy in the morning. All right, guys. What did they call that? All right, yeah. So it was like overcast in the morning, guys. It was like 60 degrees. All right, pretty cold. So the track was going to be cold. All right, guys. It's kind of like Laguna Seca. That's how the weather is at Laguna Seca. In the morning, there's just a lot of fog, and it's cold and stuff, and the track is it's not optimum temperatures, I want to say, right? You want the track to be warm, right? 80 degrees is like the perfect temperature, right, guys? Maybe like, yeah, it's 80 degrees is where you want the track, right? That's what I'm going to say, right? But it was cold, okay? So when we go out for practice, it's slippery, all right, guys? Even if I have the tire warmers on, yeah, I'm kind of slipping and sliding in a couple places. I don't feel comfortable leaning the bike a lot, right? And you could tell from my lap times, all right? My lap times went down a lot as the day went up, all right? So as more time goes by, my lap times go down, all right? Because the grip gets better, okay, guys? You know, if you push it too hard on cold tires, you could go down and you could break your bike and hurt yourself, right? And that's what happened. Unfortunately, that's what happened to my buddy Eric, all right? I was pitting with him, and I think he was right behind me when it happened, and he tucked his front tire. I think he hit like an oil slick or something, but yeah, the tires were cold, and like, yeah, he just washed out the front, and then he broke his ribs or something, all right? So he was out for the rest of the day, unfortunately. So that's a bummer, and yeah, so that's one of the reasons I was not pushing it that hard. Plus, it was just practice, okay, guys? So it's just kind of just to see what the track is like, you know, that type of thing. And so also, the track configuration was different from when I practiced 2 weeks ago. All right, remember they took out that series of turns and they just turned it into like one turn. All right, no S turns. All right, and so so it was faster. All right, that's what I say. All right, which is good. All right, yeah, the tic-tac-toe is tough, man. Yeah, so we go out. I go out on the light B. I get out there as much as I can. I think I'm laying down like 106s or something. All right, I gotta go look at the lap times. I'll put all my lap times at the end of this video. All right, I'll just put a screen cap if you guys are interested. But yeah, the lap times weren't very good. All right, and then so I go out on the Redshift, and remember, I only do 3 laps on the Redshift. So we go out. I do 3 laps, all right? So 3 laps, and really it's only enough time to get 1 time lap in, basically. And then I pull back in, just so I can get a feel for how the Redshift is acting out there, okay? It's more like siding laps is what they are, okay? And then so the qualifying starts, all right? And so we're kind of like a 3/4 in the middle of the race order, okay, guys? Oh no, so the practice was different. The practice, they had different run groups and stuff, right? I think they had like small bikes, big bikes, and then really fast big bikes or something like that. All right, and then they did the qualifying, and the qualifying is in the race order. Okay, guys, and like I said, we're like 3/4 through the schedule. All right, and we're back to back too. Okay, so that kind of sucks. I hate back to back races, man. But the good thing about back to back races is once you get off, you're nice and warmed up, and you just got done racing, and you're kind of fired. Hopefully you're not tired, and hopefully you're fired up still. All right, you kind of know. You get that muscle memory from already being on the track, type of thing. All right, that's what I do like about back to back races. All right, there's no cool down. You just poof, go back out there and rip it again. All right, so we go out for qualifying. After that, I think I throw the warmers back on. All right, and then when it's our time to go qualify, we take them back off. I think we threw this one on the charger, like I mentioned, all right, to get it back up. I think I was able to get it to 100% again, all right, because we only did 3 laps. And then I switched this battery pack, all right, to the Qi battery, all right. We switched from this battery to this battery, the Qi battery, okay, because it's got more power. And then I think I even took this one out on the Mode 3, all right. I put it at 30 kilowatts, all right. It doesn't really pull 30 kilowatts, but this battery it's definitely slower on this battery than it is on this one. Okay, guys. I think it is anyway. So that's a scoop. We go out and we qualify. All right. So I go out there. I think I finished the qualifying early. I think I did 4 laps. I can't quite remember, but I think we did 4 laps on the light B. All right. I think I got some good lap. I think at least 2 of the 4 laps were good. All right. The key in qualifying is to not race other people. All right. The key in the qualifying is to just get your fastest time as much as possible. Okay. And if you're out there trying to pass bikes and do all this other stuff, it slows you down. Okay, guys. You want your fastest time. All right. So you want to make sure the track is clear ahead of you. All right. And hopefully if somebody passes you there, you're not slowing them down, but okay. But there is quite a bit of bikes out there. So so what I remember from the practice and the qualifying is that HadesOmega there's a couple slow guys and there's a couple really fast guys. I feel like I'm in the middle of the pack for both of these bikes, okay, guys? Both of these bikes, all right? There's some really fast guys and there's some kind of slow guys, all right, as I want to say. All right, so that's what I feel like, all right, and that's kind of like how the results might turn out, okay, so I want to say, all right, no spoilers. So that's a scoop. I put in some good times on this one, and then we go out on the Redshift right after, and I put in some, as good times as I can. I think I stayed out there until the flag came out, and then we pushed the Redshift back into the pits. I threw it on the charger again, all right, so we want to get it back up to it was lunchtime, all right? So we got a nice long break, like an hour and a half, so that's enough time to get the charge back up on the Redshift, get the cooler on there to keep the battery cool, all right? And then I have enough time to get the warmers back on the bike, all right? Because when I do back-to-back, I take the warmers off. I don't put them back on, man. Once I get back, I gotta hop back on the other bike, so I don't have time to do that, all right? And then so eventually we get our times, all right? So it's lunchtime, and then eventually we get our times. It took a long time for them to get the time, and they didn't even have our times, man. They just put a list with our grid positions, all right? So they figured out our times somehow, all right? Some guys didn't even go out for qualifying, all right? They're like, yeah, I'll just start in the back, you know, that type of thing, all right? Good for them, all right? So anyway, better for me, good for them, all right? So, oh yeah, okay, so our grid position, I don't know our times. I can probably get it. I can get it in the video, all right? I'll show you our times in a I'll show you the times for both of these bikes in the qualifying right now. Okay, so those are the lap times. I got them from the telemetry overlay software. Okay, guys. So I got 8th place. All right, I think it's 8 out of 12 or something, somewhere around there for Super Mini. All right, so I got 8th in Super Mini, and then I got 11th in Supermoto Amateur. But I think there's like 15 riders in that class. All right, so so I'm in the middle of the pack. All right, so like I said, I felt like there was guys that were slower than me, and then there was guys that were definitely faster than me. All right, and so where does that put me? In the middle of the pack. All right, that's exactly where I was, in the middle of the pack. All right, so I would start at grid position 8 and 11. All right, 8 and 11. All right, that's all I have to remember. I have to remember 8 and 11, and then we're race 5 and 6. All right, so for race 5, Super Mini, we're grading grid 8, all right? I have to remember that. It helps to like put a piece of tape on your bike and then write down the numbers and stuff, but it wasn't too hard to remember. And then immediately after, right, the next race, race 6, we would be grading 11th, all right? And we would be doing that for the first and second race, okay, guys? So the first race comes along, all right, race 1, and we take off, all right? I take off we're on the light B, all right? We're on position 8. It turns out position 8 and position 11 are in the middle, all right? So it's kind of nice, and for some reason there was nobody in front of me in like both of the races or something. So I'm like, oh, that's nice. There's a big gap in front of me. I don't have to worry about running into somebody. Okay, guys. So I had like a nice clear area in front of me. You know, of course, there's some bikes swerving all over the place when we take off. All right, and so one thing I notice about these bikes it's no secret, guys. These bikes freaking are rockets off the line, all right? And HadesOmega practices drag racing, and I'm very good at launching these bikes, okay? It shows, all right? Because I'm able to like just charge in front of everybody at the beginning of the race. I think I was in the 4th position, right? I was in the 4th position behind Nick Chick, and then we go around after the first lap, and I see a red flag, and I'm like, oh, damn it, I know. Oh, and I was just in there, you know, and I was just trying to chase Nick, you know, that type of thing. And then so we had to go regrid again. We stopped, and then we regridded, and then we started again. And I didn't get such a better start. I didn't get as good a start as last time. And then I wound up being like in the middle of the pack. All right, so like instead of being 4th, I was probably like 6th or 7th or something. All right, not as good as the last race, you know, and like, yeah, we were on it, all right, man. So, man, whoever got a red flag, man. All right, but that's what happens, man. What can I say? So we had to restart, and yeah, so it was just like, this is what the racing was like for the rest of the day, okay, guys? I want to tell you. I would get a good start, and then you know, for the first lap or two, I would be doing okay, all right? I'd be kind of keeping up with them. They probably pull away a little bit, the people in front of me, and then I would just start getting past. The front would just start losing me, and people would just start passing me from behind, one by one. I would just see bikes just pass me. It's kind of sad. Okay, guys. And it kind of makes sense, all right? These bikes are fast when they're cool, all right? But as the race goes on, they get hotter and hotter, and then the power goes down, all right, guys? And so with the Light B, yeah, I pretty much overheated it. I saw it hit like a 250 motor temp, and 250 is when this motor overheats, okay, guys? And then actually the Redshift did pretty good. The Redshift didn't, you know, it did overheat, all right? I'm not gonna lie, all right? The Redshift did overheat, all right, towards the ends of the race, and you could feel it. You could feel it lower the power and stuff, all right? So yeah, it's the same story with the Redshift. Exact same story with the Redshift for race 1, all right? So right after the end of the race, I hop on this bike. You know, I had to push the bike over there. I'm like, oh man, I don't really, I'm tired. I just got done racing. I don't want to push my bike to pick up my other bike, man, but what the hell, dude. So I go over there, take the warmers off, drop the Redshift from the stand. All right, I just put this one on the side stand because I don't have enough time to put it back on the stand and put the warmers on it. Then I have to push this beast over to the staging area, and then start it up, and then grid. All right, because the next race, we're in the next race already, right? So we do that. HadesOmega grid 11th, and the funny thing is it's in the center again. All right, guys. I was like, wow, this looks familiar. It's I'm farther back, but it's kind of the same spot. All right, so let's say, so I got a lot of practice starting from the center of the grid. Let's say, all right. There's a lot of rows too. I think it's three across is how they did it. All right, and it's like a staggered a little bit. It's pretty tight. All right, but yeah. But anyway, I get a good start. All right, I think I'm like in third or fourth or something. I think probably by the end of the first lap, I probably dropped to like third place or something. And then we go around the last corner, and oh, there's that red flag again, dadgummit. I'm like, shit, man. Again. I was like, you don't know how, like, it's like you're fired up and you're racing, you know, and like, oh yeah, keep on this guy, you know, do this, do that, blah blah blah. And then you see that red flag, your motivation just goes straight in the toilet. You're just like, oh, that's the end of the race. Like, shit, we gotta restart again. Like, sometimes they don't even restart, you know. Sometimes they just say, oh, that's the end of the race, all right. So yeah, that's it happened again, all right, and we had to go restart. All right, HadesOmega took off, and I didn't get as good a position after the first corner. All right, I think it was the same story, same exact story. I dropped a couple positions back. I must have been 6th or 7th or something now, and then like, yeah. And then it was the same story. The bikes would pull away, and then I would see other bikes would just come up and pass me one by one. One by one. So I mean, it could be me, you know, maybe I'm just slow, you know, but I swear, when I was like with the pack, every corner I would see them, those 450s just leave me, man. Those 450s are fast. I'm like, every time I went around the corner, they get me a little bit, you know, and then it just gets worse and worse. Like, am I just not squeezing the throttle fast enough? That could be it, man. I don't know, man, because this bike is pretty fast, man. What can I say? I guess it's not fast enough to keep up with the 450 on this track. All right, we'll find that out. All right. Also, the bike, yes, the bike gets slower throughout the race because the battery's heating up, and if the bike is trying to when it overheats, it throttles back the power. All right, and you gotta get on the throttle faster. All right, the bike gets easier to ride, but you have to get on the throttle faster because the throttle is kind of dulled. All right, it's not as sharp as it was. So that's what happened for the first race. I finished. Guess what? I don't know, guys, man. They didn't tell us our positions. All right. I have a feeling that I hope I didn't finish last, but I feel like I finished close to last. Okay, guys. I was definitely 3/4 of the pack. Okay, guys. I was somewhere around there. All right. For both of these bikes. All right. And then so the second race rolls around. There's enough time to throw the Qi battery back on the charger. All right. So I try to get this one back up to 80%. I think we're about 75% after the first race. So I said, oh, you know what? Don't put this one back on the charger. It's just going to heat the battery back up. Just put it on the cooler and put it on the cooler and the warmers, and then just let it rest for the next race. All right. And then so this one, we put the warmers on it, and then I put the charger on this one instead. All right, and then so I think this one was I think it was about like 70%. Yeah, it was somewhere around there. I was able to get it back up to like close to 90. All right, it was like 80 something percent, like 88 or something. All right, so good enough to race. Okay, and I think I overheated this one in the first race. All right, I'm pretty sure. This one, I think it just started overheating maybe on the last 2 laps. And then the second race rolls along. And yeah, I get, so this time, no red flags. We don't get any red flags for race 1 and race 2. So we head out on light B again. I get a pretty good, pretty good launch. I think I'm like 4th, guys. I think I'm 4th. I can't remember. I got to watch the video again. But I think I was like I was in the front of the pack, all right? In the front pack. Not in the front, but on the front pack. And then it's the same story again, guys. People just pass me one by one. One by one. And the bike just gets slower and slower and slower. I'm trying my hardest, man. And yeah, the bike just gets slower. And then, yes, eventually, I'm looking at the heat. It's like at 250. It's like 249 already. I'm like, oh, shit. It's like, it's going to overheat. But the race ends. So like, I think the race was about 7 laps. Oh yeah, I got lapped on the first race. By the way, I just remembered right now. I got lapped on the first race. The number 1 guy lapped me as I was about to do like the 6th lap. I think it's 7 laps, right? So, before I got to the finish line, I got lapped and I pulled off really early. So I ended like 1 lap early. I was like, oh shit, man. Like, I got lapped right at the end. I'm like, yeah, right. It's kind of crazy, man. What happened in the race 2 for the Super Mini race was I think I finished in the back of the pack somewhere, okay, or I was last. I'm not sure. I don't think I was last. Okay. So for race 2 of the Super Moto Amateur, it was kind of the same story, guys. I got a pretty good start. All right. I think I was like 4th or something, and then everyone just picked me off one by one again, all right, until the DTX guys passed me. At some point, Brock McAllister passed me on Varg, all right, his flat tracker Varg, and then Cassidy Haas passed me. So the guys, and so the DTX guys start way in the back, all right. So they combined our classes, all right. The amateurs and the DTX are one race, okay, guys? So the DTX guys started way in the back, all right, guys? And then they caught up to me. That's how slow I was, okay? I'm not gonna lie. It didn't get my confidence up, that's for sure. And then, yeah, so Cassidy Haas passed me on his bike, and so I know I finished behind the dirt trackers, behind some of the dirt trackers. It was kind of fun, though. I get to race with Brock for a while to see how the Redshift holds up against the Varg, all right, and it can keep up with a Varg. It's the same thing with the 450, right? I can keep up in the corners with the 450s somehow, but once we get out of the corner, they're gone, you know. And this corner exit power is great, man. Like once you get on it, it just goes, all right. But I guess it's the same story for the 450s, man. Okay, the Redshift, the electric bikes, they excel at the tighter stuff. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The tighter courses, the electric bikes do good because you have to go really slow and then speed back up again. All right, this one, this track, it flows really well, so you're just going fast all the time. And so HadesOmega just gotta learn to keep the throttle open longer and lean it more. All right, it's a road race course. Okay, guys, it's not really a supermoto-esque type kind of course. This was all right. It's definitely a course geared for 450s. All right, so. Okay, so yeah, so that was the end of the racing, guys. All right, I finished towards the back. All right, and guess what? I don't know what my positions are for the races. Okay, so like I said, they're supposed to add the points that you get from your position in the first race and the second race together, and then that gives you your final score and then your final position. All right, guys, like a mini championship. And they weren't able to give me the lap times. They weren't able to give me the positions I finished at. So I don't know what position I finished at. All I know for sure, as I didn't get on the podium, all right, guys, because they didn't win anything, all right, guys. No podium. They never called me up to the podium, so I tell you this, I definitely didn't get on the podium. I was definitely not on the podium, all right. So I was probably either that. So that tells me we're either in the middle or in the back of the pack, and I feel like we're in the back of the pack, and maybe we might have been dead last. I don't know, man. So it's like I said, I don't know. All right, so that's a bummer. I always try to get my what I placed. All right, because also I keep track of that stuff. I keep track of that stuff on my HadesOmega has a hookup. Has this hook it. It's like a sponsorship kind of web page. All right, it's a kind of sponsorship program, and you gotta list what races you did and the positions that you finished and all that stuff. So that's kind of important, and they didn't even give me that. They told me they were going to post the results on the internet. Okay, so hopefully they will. All right, because that's kind of one of the things you got to do at a race, man. And they should have it posted on a piece of paper or something. All right. So yeah, they couldn't get us lap times. They just gave us grid positions. So they figured out the lap time somehow. All right. And so that's the only thing I was able to go off of. That's the only kind of placements I got for that race was the qualifying times. Okay, guys. So we qualified 8th and 11th on the Redshift. All right. So there's that. Okay. So that's the end of the racing. All right. And like I said, I definitely didn't get on the podium, but I had a lot of fun. I didn't break the bikes. All right. Both of these bikes, they ran spectacular. Okay. Yeah, no problems. The last problem I had with the Light Bee is the rear sprocket bolts came out and it messed up the sprocket. Okay, it messed up the sprocket in my swing arm a little bit. All right, so I red Loctited those bolts back on. All right, it turns out that half of the threads are still in the thing, so I got longer bolts. Is what I did. All right, so it's probably my bad. I didn't put long enough bolts that they didn't go all the way through the hub. All right, but it kind of saved me because it only ripped half the threads out. All right. So I just put them back in and I red Loctite them. Okay. Also, I didn't check them after the race. I was supposed to check it after every time I go back out. I did do that during my practice session 2 weeks ago, though. Every time I went out, I got my torque wrench and I double checked to see if the bolts are the right torque, and they were good. Okay, so that gave me some peace of mind that it's probably not going to happen to me on race day, and it didn't. Okay, but I should probably check them out. The drivetrain sounds freaking awful on the Light Bee. All right, I think it's just. This bike is just old and beat up, man, and there's probably the frame's all tweaked and shit, and that's probably why. That or I need to lube the primary drive. Probably do. Primary drive needs a lot of lube. Okay, what can I say? The Redshift was spectacular. All right, I actually enjoy riding the Redshift more than the Light Bee on this track. Okay, it's got better brakes. It's got more power. You need a lot of power on this track. All right, and maybe just those other bikes just had more power than mine. All right. Yeah, so that's a scoop, guys. So I don't know what I got, but I will put, if I get it before I publish this video, I will put my results in a subtitle below or somewhere in the video. Okay, guys? Alright, yeah, I found out DTX, there was only like 3 guys that signed up for that shit. I could have just raced the WR in that class. Would I do good in that class? Probably not, because I think Brock was racing in that class with the Varg, and he would have killed me with the Varg for sure. I gotta go ride a Varg. I gotta ride a Supermoto Varg on a track, guys. I think that's where we're stuck with the Redshift. Is that the battery overheats and it gets slower, and then we're just getting busted, man. And we need more power to keep up with the 450s. Really, I should be racing this bike against 250s. Okay, guys? That's if there's like a 250 class, that's what I would race this in. All right, guys? And the 250s are still whooping my ass, all right? I'm not gonna lie, man. A 250 can still whoop my butt with this, but you know, I stand a better chance against a 250 than a 450, okay? As it stands, after I re-geared this bike, it has enough power to keep up. It's got enough power to keep up with a 250. It's kind of has enough power to keep up with the 450. I feel like we're kind of in between, all right? We're kind of like a 350 or something. So we're around there, right? But there's not a 250 class isn't very popular anymore. There's just not a lot of people with 250s out there, I guess. at least where we're at, all right, in California and Nevada, there's not a lot of 250s, unfortunately. And it's a bummer, man. Everyone's going towards to 450s, and this bike is hard to fight against 450s. I'm not gonna lie, okay, guys. Maybe I need to become a better rider, you know. But yeah, there's that also. There's that. Okay, so yeah, the bikes ran beautifully. No complaints about them. They did their job, and I tried to do the best job as I could. All right, managing the heat and all that, and the charge of the batteries and all that stuff. And I think we did pretty good. All right, I think that's the best I could do. The competition. All right, guys. The guys that we were racing against were really good. Okay. These guys raced. I remember I raced with these guys a long time ago when we were still doing races at Sonoma, and they were whooping my butt back then, and they're still whooping my ass right now. All right, guys. So I thought, like, hey, I've got a couple more years of racing under my belt. My bikes are faster and better now, and I'm still not fast enough. All right, guys. so HadesOmega's just got to become a better rider, or I got to get faster bikes. Okay. But when you're trying to make your bike faster, you're kind of using the power as a crutch. Okay, that's the way I see it. All right. HadesOmega thinks, I'm thinking of maybe racing my KLX in the Super Mini classes for a little while. The Reno races are going to have 20-minute motos, man, 20-minute races, and I don't think this bike could race for 20 minutes, man. But we'll try. All right, so those are the next races that are coming up. All right, the Reno races. So look forward to that. Like I mentioned, I don't know what position I got for this race, but I had a whole lot of fun, and I didn't get hurt. And it was great being able to race at Sonoma Karting Center again, okay? After many, many moons, all right, many years, I had a whole lot of fun. It's just a blast to race there, and it was definitely entertaining to watch everybody else race, okay? On the track and off the track, right? Man, the pro racing was incredible. Incredible. Like, it was wheel to wheel, kind of racing, and just amazing display of riding all day. All right, so yeah, I want to thank Tyler O'Hara and Hawk Mazada for putting on this event, and NNKC for running it. Okay, and yeah, okay, so that's the end of the AAR. All right, I just got to get faster. All right, guys, or we need to make these bikes faster. What can we do to improve? Man, HadesOmega has been tossing around the idea of maybe buying a MXR and converting it to a Supermoto. I think the R-Pack, the MXR, the R version of the Redshift has 10 more horsepower. 10 more horsepower could help me a lot, okay? 10 horsepower is a significant bump, and it has a better battery pack, okay? It has the R-Pack. The R-Pack has, it can handle more power. That's why it has 10 more horsepower, right? So that would definitely help me out in Supermoto. They never made a SMR, guys, okay? They have an EXR and an MXR. They never made an MXR until Alta Motors went out of business, all right? I'm sure they would have if they stayed in business, okay? And so you could make a Supermoto not too hard. I have the Supermoto wheels already. We just throw it on the MX, re-gear the MX, okay? And then probably swap these forks onto it, and then you've got a Supermoto already. All right, you just put some Supermoto wheels and brakes and all that stuff. Yeah, we'll probably have to get the brake system and all that stuff. The brakes are fantastic on this bike. It stops really good. All right, and it helps having really good brakes, for sure. But I think that's the best way to make an MXR, or convert this to a R pack. Okay, but I don't know how to do that. So, but I could see if there's a way around it, or HadesOmega gets a Varg. All right, those are the two things that if I to race against the 450s, maybe we can get the Varg. All right, the Varg, yeah, I think a Varg would be nice. I think a Varg is perfect for Supermoto. I don't really want to ride that thing on a trail, man. It's heavy, the Varg, but so is this. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. So yeah, we just need more power. It was pretty obvious that we need more power, man. I would just see, I would go around the corner and then they would just gap me. Go around the corner, they would just gap me. Like, they would just pull away slowly and slowly and slowly. I'm like, shit, do I just not got enough power to keep up with them? Because I can keep up with them in the corner. When at the beginning of the race, I'm right on their tail, and then we get to the straight, after every corner they pull away from me. So and that's kind of embarrassing on an electric bike, because the electric bike has so much like exit power, is what I want to say, right? You just get on it and it's just already in the right gear. It just pulls like a freaking freight train. Why can't I keep up with them? That's a good question, all right? So you're just gonna have to up your game, HadesOmega, all right? Okay, so that's the end of the AAR. Thanks for watching. Definitely, if they have an event like this, you know, somewhere near you, you should definitely, you know, go and support your, you know, your racing. Mini motorcycle racing is freaking awesome, guys. Okay, so thanks for watching. HadesOmega out. Alright, hey, HadesOmega here, and so this is just an extra clip for the AAR. Okay, so in the AAR I mentioned that I didn't get the results. Alright, I didn't get the results the day of the race. Okay, at the end of the racing I didn't get the results. Alright, but bam, I got the results now. Alright guys, so a few days after the race they posted up the results. They email you the link, and then you can look at the results. Okay, so we'll go take a quick look at the results. All right, I'm not going to talk too much about them, all right, because I kind of talked about the racing already. It's kind of, my performance was as lacking as I thought it was. Okay, let's say. But I'm not going to lie, you know, the guys that we raced against were really good. Okay, guys? All right, let's go check them out. Alright guys, so there's two sets of results. There's unofficial results and then the official results. Alright, the official results, it says up here, alright, it's published in a PDF file. Alright, so we will go look at the unofficial results first, and then the official result. Basically the official results are like all the points added together, okay guys? But yeah, so for qualifying, guys, alright, so here's what we got going on for qualifying. All right, so this is the qualifying results, guys. Okay, and I qualified 8th. All right, so there it is. All right, this is the Super Mini. This is the Light B. Okay, guys. So we did 5 laps on the Light B, and we got 1:03 was our best time. Okay, guys. You can even check in each individual lap, but this is our best lap time. So that's our qualifying time, right? So the fastest rider was Dexter, all right? Dexter Daytona Salaveria got 53 seconds, guys. So this guy is literally like 20 seconds faster than me. That's crazy how fast this is, right? Yeah, these guys are crazy fast, right? Alex Enriquez, 54 seconds, all right? Alex Enriquez is very good, all right, guys? Adrian Sanchez, I don't remember racing Adrian Sanchez out there, man. He was on like a 65 or something, I guess, but I don't think he raced in the regular race, man. But he got a 54, okay, guys? These guys are really good. I know these two, and they're really good racers, all right? They're world-class racers, okay, guys? Nick Chick, I know him, all right? He's really fast, okay, guys? Jeremy Tubman, he's good. Alright, so like, yeah, I'm behind all of them. Right, but hey, you know what, HadesOmega? You're in the middle of the pack, alright? So there were 17 riders, and out of 17, we placed 8th, alright? However, alright? However, these guys on the bottom, 14, 15, 16, 17, alright? Like Brian Bartlow here, didn't qualify, right? Because they don't have a time, so they skipped the qualifying. Maybe they were just too tired or something to go out there and do it. All right, Michael Gallagher. Okay, I know that guy. That's the guy that has that crazy DR200, man. Yeah, I got beat by and I'm almost sure I got beat by Brian and Michael, and probably Andrew. Yeah, how did Andrew get such a slow time? Okay, Andrew Berner is really fast. Okay, I've raced him before. Well, he only did like 1 lap. Something must have happened to his bike in the qualifying. But I guess Andrew had to start in the back, and yeah, okay. So anyway, so that means I start on the grid on the 8th position. Okay, guys, and then for the first race, all right, the first race I got 9th, all right, pretty close to my qualifying position, all right, guys, behind Malik Jordan, Michael Gallagher, all right, there's that Michael Gallagher, I told you, Jeremy Tubman, Nick Chick, Gia, Nyashlev. Did I get that right? Brian Bartlow, Alex Enriquez, and Dexter Daytona Salaveria. Okay, and then yeah, I'm just right behind this Mike Helm dude, and yeah, and a bunch of names that I don't really know. I know Eric Hansen, and I don't think he. Oh, these guys didn't even race. Okay, so these don't even have a time. So technically, the race was only 13th, right? So 12. There was only 12 racers, guys. So I placed 9th out of 12. Really bad. So the back of the pack, all right, guys. Not the very back, but the back. In the back, I'm in the back, guys. Okay, I'm in the back there. Sad, kind of sad. What happened to Andrew, man? Andrew's way back here again. Andrew's fast, man. I know he's fast. Okay, anyway. All right, so yeah, we got 9th, and then for the second race, we got 9th again, all right? So at least we're consistent. and pretty much the same guys. Yeah, the same guys that won in the last race, they got the same position in the so yeah, it just shows you how fast they are, right? And so Alex Enriquez didn't race that one, all right, for whatever reason. Adrian Sanchez didn't race either. Adrian Sanchez, but Alex Enriquez raced this one, all right, and he got second. All right, guys, and he got 20 points for it. All right, so yeah, these are the points. So for race 1, I got 7 points, and race 2, I got 7 points. All right, so that gives me a total of 14 points. Not even enough if I won. If I was going up against those guys that won a race. Or if you won a race, you got 25 points. All right, guys. Okay, so yeah, pretty bad, man. So let's take a look at the amateur results, wherever that is. Oh, SMA. Okay. All right. So this is the Redshift. Okay, guys. So this is the qualifying session, and if I remember correctly, I'm dead last, guys. All right. I don't know what we can do to make that Redshift faster, guys. But yeah, we were dead last. All right. You know how I know we're dead last? All right. Since we're here. 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys didn't even qualify, all right? These guys didn't go to qualify, so I qualified dead last. Okay, guys? Yeah. So I had the slowest time at 1 minute. Pretty much 1 minute flat, all right? 1 minute .716. Everyone else was sub 1 minute, guys. These guys are fast, man. Holy moly. Yeah. Okay. So Ezra Greco got first, Neil Martirez second, Jeremy Applegate, okay, I know him, he's fast, he's an expert rider. Robert Freiberger, he's pretty good, alright, I've raced him a couple times. Jason Applegate, that's Jeremy's brother, alright, and Mia Wright, I raced her a crap ton of times, she's fast. Colton Besick, I don't know this guy. Isaiah Canales, all right, this is the guy that won the last SM championship race. Okay, so he's like kind of mid pack there. Errol Smith, all right, I know him. Corey Butzer, and then Butzer, Merlin Valencia. There I am. Okay, 11. Okay, so 1 minute, and then these guys didn't even qualify, so they're going to start in the back if they show up to the next race. Okay, so race 1. Race 1 was 7 laps, all right? And it's pretty much the same results, guys, except I got a little bit better. I got 10th, all right? I got 10th instead of 11th, all right? And it's just kind of the same story, all right, guys? Same story, yep. Almost. What happened here? Oh, that's right. Errol said he had something wrong. Something happened to his clutch or something. I think that's right. He said there was something wrong with his clutch. Something happened to Dean. Dean didn't race. Eric Hansen didn't race. I know that. These guys all didn't race for some reason. And so that's the reason, because Errol didn't race, or he didn't have any. Oh, you know what? There could have been a timing error, guys, okay? That could have been a problem too. But Errol got times for the qualifying, so I don't see why. All right, Errol's like 3 seconds faster than me. So, okay. Anyway, I got 10th place. in the first race, all right? And in the second race, I got 11th place, all right? I got pretty much dead last, all right? Yeah, that means I'm dead. Yeah, that means I'm dead last. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah, these guys didn't get, either these guys didn't get times or they didn't race, all right? So if they didn't race, then yeah, I was dead last. Okay, guys. So you remember when I said like when I said like, yeah, I had a good start, and then everybody just passed me one at a time, and until like there was nobody left to pass. Yeah, okay. And actually, the first race I got lapped because was it the second race? No, I did get lapped. See, everybody did 7 laps. I did 6 laps. Okay, guys. I remember I got lapped by this guy. All right, I got lapped by the number 1 guy right as I was about to cross the finish line. All right, guys. And I definitely got lapped on the second race. 7 laps, 8 laps. All right. So damn, man, I did really bad. Okay, guys. Okay, so guys. Okay. So let's go take a look at the official results. All right. Oh yeah, the points. I didn't go over the points. So we had 14 for the light B, right? So we had 6. All right, for the first race. Do we get points for the qualifying? I guess not. I guess we don't get points for the qualifying. And the second race we got 5 points. All right, so 5 plus 6 is 11. So I got 11. I did better on the light B than I did on the Redshift, guys. Oh man, that's freaking awful, dude. I honestly, I did awful in both of them. All right. Okay, so let's go now. Okay, these are the official results, guys, and it's not as exciting looking as the other web page. Okay, so we're looking for. Okay, so these are the official results. These are the final results, basically. Okay, guys. So I finished 10th overall. Yeah, so see, these are called final standings, okay, guys? And remember, I thought I got 14 on the light B, man. It says I have 13. That's weird. Okay, anyway, so I finished 10th, all right? 10th out of 12, all right? Because some of those other guys didn't race, all right? So we're like in the back of the pack, all right? I just want to say, we're not dead last. But we're in the back of the pack, all right, guys. So 10th place, all right. And so I have 13 points in that for that race, okay. And then Supermoto Amateur, yes, there we go. So I got 10 place in that one too, man. I got 12 points. How? I got 13. Yeah, 13 and 12, right? So I don't know. It's for some reason it says we got 12 points. Their math is wrong because I got 11. Yeah, so I don't know where they're getting those numbers, guys. But yeah, so I got an extra point, I guess. But so I came in 10th place, all right, behind everyone. All right, guys. Oh, you know what? Errol didn't race. Huh? Maybe there's something wrong with his timing stuff. I'm not sure. Okay, so 10th place. I got 10 for 10. All right, guys. 10 for 10, and I think 13 in Super Mini and 13 in Super Mini and 12 in Supermoto Amateur. All right, guys, okay. And so with that, those are the results for the MotoAmerica Mini Cup Qualifier 2025 at Sonoma Raceway, and yeah, so I got 10th place in Super Mini and 10th place in Supermoto Amateur. All right, and then I'm not gonna go through like the how I got those points. All right, we went through it already. Okay. Yeah, so all I can say is if you want to hang with these guys, man, you need to step up your game. HadesOmega, what can I say? All right, was my performance lacking? I don't know, man. I tried my best. I'm not gonna lie, man. I tried my best. Maybe I could have twisted the throttle a little harder. Also, the bikes were overheating. Okay, so that's what happens. The bike is really fast at the beginning of the race, and then at the end of the race, it's not as fast as it was at the beginning of the race. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. All right. So when the bikes get too hot, it slows down, and then people just pass me. All right. So and I have to. What you have to do is kind of adapt to that. All right. So the bike is getting slower, so you need to carry your corner speeds better, or you need to get on the throttle sooner, all right? Because like the it's not as snappy as it used to be, so you gotta twist it, HadesOmega, all right? And yeah, maybe just twist that throttle a little bit more, all right? A little bit more, a little bit faster. But I shit you not, man. Some of those after some of those turns, I was so close to the other bikes, and then when every turn they would just get further away. I don't know, man. I don't know what the deal is. All I remember is like, man, I'm getting gapped by these 450s, man. These 450s are no joke. I was like, yeah. It could be the track too. Okay, that track is it's for faster bikes. Okay, guys, it's a fast track. Okay, guys. Out of a lot of the races that we've been doing, like at Reading and Reno, that it's a pretty fast track. Okay, guys. So it would probably help out HadesOmega if go there and practice and try to be faster, all right? Get faster around the corners. So I hadn't raced at Sonoma Raceway for a couple years, and I hadn't really practiced there all that much, all right? So, but that's no excuse because it was kind of the same story for everybody else. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, you just need to do better, HadesOmega. But that's okay. We tried hard, and that's what we got. All right, I didn't break the bike. I didn't break myself, and I had fun. So it's all good. All right. Thanks for watching. HadesOmega out. That's the results.